every way it was a foolish decision. She'd always been the main earner and they needed the money more than ever. Mabel was about to go to university. Meanwhile, everything from the boiler to the roof seemed to be decaying in its own way. The gutters needed replacing and there was damp in the little room behind the kitchen. She would sometimes tot up figures, trying to make the sums come out differently, discussing it with Fletcher in a matter-of-fact way that wouldn't make him feel diminished. "It's just the way it's turned out," she would say. One evening a few months ago, after she'd biked home from work through the pouring rain and was making supper, still in her yellow cycling jacket with soaking trousers and squelching shoes and water dripping from her hair, she'd thought, "I can't go on like this. I've had enough." Enough of always being in a hurry, always a bit behind, always feeling there was something she'd forgotten. Enough of feeling close to tears in meetings or of waking in the night with her head full of unfinished tasks and, behind everything, standing over her like a dark wall, the perpetual, relentless, bone-thinning anxiety about Mabel. Going part-time, working only 3.5 days a week, was an experiment in carving out a space, just a small space, for herself so that she didn't go quite mad. And look how that turned out, she thought. Fletcher was emptying the dishwasher. She was rummaging in the fridge for something for the boys' packed lunches. Now Connor was in the room, solid and round-faced and bristle-headed and loud, everything done emphatically while his skinny elder brother bent over a book about insects. Neve looked at her sons and her husband, and for a moment they all seemed like wind-up figures, going through the motions of the morning, as they did every morning, in the routine built up over the years without even noticing, each with their allotted parts. "I can see you." The phrase fell through her mind like a smooth round stone, so clear that for a moment she thought it had been said out loud and stared around her. Fletcher was slicing toast, frowning in concentration, the tip of his tongue on his upper lip. Or had it been, "I can see you"? She unwrapped a block of cheese. How was it possible to feel so tired and so awake at the same time, so wretched and so exultant? Normal, be normal, she instructed herself. "Did you sleep okay?" she asked Fletcher. "Fine. I didn't even wait when you came in. What time was it?" "I don't know, not too late, but you were dead to the world." She picked up her tea and took a large hot gulp. "After midnight," said a voice, cold and sharp as a blade. "Mabel, you're up early." Mabel stood in the doorway. She was wearing a short brown and black check dress, rib-tight, smart little ankle boots. Her brown hair, which left to itself fell in cloudy curls, was tied in tight plaits, and perhaps because of this her face seemed thinner than usual. "I've been awake for hours," she said. "Maybe I haven't even slept. Maybe I was awake all night." "Don't do that." She glared at Connor, who was digging his hand into the cereal packet, and now scooped out a handful to push it into his mouth. He glared back at her. His mouth was too full to answer. "Anyway," she continued to Neve, "I heard you come in. After midnight." "Oh, no wonder I'm tired," Neve said brightly. Perhaps too brightly. She had a sudden longing for a cigarette, though it had been years since she last smoked, unless surreptitious cigarettes at parties counted. She had given up when she had children, stopped smoking, stopped drinking, stopped dancing till dawn and eating fish and chips for breakfast, stopped spending days wandering around markets with her gang of friends, or taking off for an unplanned weekend by the sea with Fletcher because, well, why not? It wasn't that she regretted these things, because even now, or especially now when she was putting it all at risk, she loved her life, her children, her husband. But why does no one tell you, she wondered, how hard it is? Except, of course, they do tell you and you don't believe them. You think you can do it differently, cost-free, carefree. Mabel sat herself down at the table and Fletcher put a mug of ginger and lemon tea in front of her. Mabel always drank herbal tea at breakfast, and if things were going well, she would eat some fruit, one blueberry at a time, one segment off a tangerine with all the white pith pulled delicately off. No fruit this morning. Neve tried not to watch her. She seemed to have spent years watching her daughter and trying not to watch her, of always being on guard, heart like a bruise and throat clogged with dread, but trying to behave as if everything was all right. In 8 days, she told herself, Mabel would be gone, and what would she do then? Who would she be without her? "How was Tamsin?" asked Fletcher. "Oh, you know, still angry. She got a bit drunk," Neve said, busily spreading butter on slices of bread now. I didn't like to leave her." Fletcher turned the radio on for the 7:30 news and sat down with his toast and marmalade. He was looking at something on his phone, intent. Connor was saying something about football after school. Rory was levering himself from his chair, still reading his book, all bones and sharp wrists. He needed new clothes. He needed hearty soup and collard greens and sticky toffee pudding. Mabel was taking tiny sips of her tea, her eyes...